I think for Hong Kong, the goal is smart contract. Why? Because what we really sell is we sell trust. We have, again, a legal system that works. People want to do business here. It's a frictional environment. We have an excellent financial sector, excellent logistics. And what we want to do is move up the value chain by providing even better service on platforms that we already have. So smart contracts can reduce those costs. They can reduce the friction which are related to those costs, and in doing so, increase trust and increase trade. There are basically three hurdles to smart contracts. First of all, the term itself, smart contracts. Everything now is smart. You have smart devices, smart cars, smart contracts. So people tend to gloss over the fact that it really is just a contract that's written as a computer program. Nothing too earth-shaking there. The earth-shaking aspect is auto-enforcement. Second thing, that the biggest hurdle that's stopping smart contracts is human resources. It's actually not regulatory arbitrage or compliance risks, whatever. It's actually the human capital. Why? Because we need a new generation of priests, the people who are techno-lawyers, people who are legally trained and also technically trained, and those people don't quite exist. Why? Because a lot of the innovations right now are cross-cutting. So you have people who are technologists, and we don't need a generation of web programmers. We missed that bone. But we do need to quite clearly carve out an area where Hong Kong can excel. And I think the area of smart contracts and the human capacity for writing them, in other words, translating some aspects of a legal contract into a smart contract. Not everything should be incorporated into a smart contract, but some aspects are very well fitting for a smart contract. For example, logistics. Logistics is a chain of things, a chain of shipments that can and should occur at a certain time for a certain cost, and when that happens, everyone should hopefully get paid. There's a logistics chain, but now we talk about a logistics web. So the complexity here of managing such webs of logistics are again where smart contracts can really help reduce costs. Last but not least is just people being aware that there's this transition occurring. Now the good news is that people, actually not in Hong Kong, I think in London, are spearheading from a technical perspective the ability to make it easier to write smart contracts. Why? Because a lot of terms of the contract are actually quite similar across contracts. If you ask a lawyer, they'll probably say the same, which is, well, this is the essence of the contract. You agree to do this at this time for this cost, and when this happens, you get paid. I mean, there's nothing sort of new under the sun. There are new interesting blockchains, such as the Ethereum platform, which make it easier in many ways to write smart contracts. Perhaps the one that's the largest outlier is a research dimension, which is, why should society have any trust in these smart contracts at all? Which is why, in parallel to the Smart Contracts Initiative I started here in May, at HKUST, I started the Trust in Smart Contracts Initiative, which is more research area, research dimension. And again, the reason why this is necessary is because the internet had 20 years of R&D before it went commercial. This Bitcoin blockchain smart contracts stack is only sort of six years old, now 7 years old. And so it's very new technology where commercialization happened in some sense before the research. And so a lot of the research still needs to happen, which is why initiatives such as MIT's Digital Currency Initiative, the DCI, which started in April 2015, is very important. But the SCI, the Smart Contracts Initiative, which is layered on top of the DCI, I started in May, 1 month afterwards. Why? Because I think the SCI, from Hong Kong's perspective, me being a resident in Hong Kong, is more applicable to our local context. I don't think we have the expertise to be deep into the digital currency space, and even if you were, so what? Even if you did, are you going to invent a new cryptocurrency? Perhaps not. There's a huge first mover advantage in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin itself, there are difficulties in writing smart contracts. It's actually quite technically difficult. I think there are initiatives to make it easier. But these technical issues will be solved, I believe, in the next few years. But the wider societal discussion is to see how places like Hong Kong, who basically sell trust, how we can help China move from made in China to trust in China via smart contracts. That's a huge challenge, but I think it can be done.